I made $21,000 with a single email, and this is not clickbait. My name is Ben, I'm 22 years old, and I run a lead generation brand as a broker for finance firms, private finance, so B2B finance, everything from invoice factoring to asset-backed loans to bridging capital, etc., right? And I made $21,000 with a single email. And I want to give you a little bit of backstory, and then I'm going to share with you why it took me so long to understand this concept. So my brother and I, and he's in the crypto industry. So I'm in finance, he's in crypto. I'm dealing with the old school guys, and he's dealing with the new age of guys. And we've got this idea called value maxing. And what I want you to think of is you get this jar, and this jar, you get to fill it with goodwill, with value for your professional clients, for people that you work with, right? And every time you make an ask, you withdraw from that jar. So it works like a bank account, like a savings account. And you can top up that jar until it's overflowing so that when you make an ask, it's a big payday. And this can be happen when you're working to get a promotion. This could happen when you're working to increase your prices or to sign a big contract. And I had this firm where we made them about during Q1, so January to March, we made them about 8.8 million in rev, which works out to about $500,000 in 3 months. And in profit, they operated around 30% profit. So we made them about $150,000 in profit. And I said to them, like, hey guys, really, really happy with the results that we got for you. And I'm happy to continue running your campaigns. Like, they're obviously crushing. But I've got these other firms that are making me these offers that's a much higher commission. So I want to understand, if this is something that we could work towards, like if there's certain milestones or targets that we could set to hit these commissions. So what I did there was I've been working with them since November last year, so about 5-6 months. So I worked hard for 3 months, started this year, got incredible results for them, and topped up that bank account until it was overflowing, and then I made an ask. And what that ask led to is every 3 months, they are going to pay me around a $21,000 bonus. And I made that ask over one email. And the new percentages and the milestones and the way they've structured it is a complete win-win. So I essentially added $7,000 a month to my income with one email. And for a long time, I didn't understand how to make money. Like, I struggled. Like, I dropped out of college at 18 years old. I tried everything. I've failed 8 or 9 different businesses. I've been in the red. I've taken on debt. I worked at a restaurant waitering for like 3.5 years. We actually went there last night with my family. It was really awesome to see everyone again and to enjoy the food that I used to eat, as a staff meal. But I want to share with you why, if you are stuck in your journey with making income, why you might be struggling. And it's because you're too afraid to work for free. You're too afraid to actually get good at what you do by working for free. And because you aren't willing to work for free, you're not going to get good quick. It's going to take you way longer because you're trying to charge clients, and then those clients aren't happy with the results, and then they ask for a refund, or they churn, they leave your agency, they leave your service because you don't know what you're doing. And I believe in my heart of hearts, as someone who's making, multi-six figures at 22, that it's not about how many hours you put in, it's about how many iterations you have. I've read the 10,000 hour book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, where he speaks about, professional ballet dancers, professional athletes, businessmen, like, all the great, like, inventors, athletes, conquerors, like all the hours that they put into it. It's not actually about the hours, it's about iterations. So it's not about 10,000 hours, it's about 10,000 iterations. How many times can you tweak? And if you are only signing one paying client per month versus taking on 10 free clients per month, you have way more practice taking on those 10 free clients that by the time 6 months or 12 months have passed, you are 5 times, 15 times, 50 times better than the person who was too afraid to do it for free. I was, saving up money and spending ad spend out of my own pocket to run ads for other people's businesses for free. So I was doing the work for free and spending money out of my own pocket on their business for free just so that I could learn how to run ads, how to make content, how to make landing pages, how to use Make and Zapier to do, lead notifications and lead tracking and lead nurture and lead distribution. And I was stuck for years before that because I only started making decent money in the past maybe 12 months. But before that, there was probably about 3 years where I was stuck because I was too afraid to do it for free. I was too desperate over money. And I've realized now that it's not about how much money you have in the bank. It's entirely about what skills you have, because skills are the assets that earn you money. And if you are starting out, you're probably quite conservative with your money. You're quite desperate. You're quite scarce. You're not thinking abundantly because you don't know how to get more money. So you treat money as like limited rather than something that can easily be topped up. Okay. And when you build skills, when you invest in education, I've spent I've spent almost $10,000 on coaching and education outside of university. And I realized that skills are what ultimately allow you to top up your bank balance whenever you want because you have some way of helping other people. But when you're starting out and you don't have skills, you're so desperate around the money that you have that you struggle to spend money and spend time working for free, getting experience, getting better, building those skills. But that keeps you stuck. It's the very thing that keeps you stuck. And even guys, some of the best in the industry, right? Guys like Alex Hormozi, they will tell you work for free. Like work for free for like 6 months, 12 months. Spend money and time out of your own pocket and get good so that when you can perform the skill consistently and get ridiculous results for people, you can make big asks. You can write one email and make $21,000 every 3 months for as long as you're working with that client. Like that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And yeah, it's just an idea. It's just an idea. But when you are working for free with clients, I do recommend that you qualify them. Make sure that they're a bigger business that can actually afford you once you start to get them results. Don't just give your free services to everyone. Try and give free services to people that you know in the end will actually become a great client to work with. That's kind of like the cheat code. And outside of that, I also want to just leave you with this idea that you owe the game 3 years. Like you owe the game 3 years. Okay, you're not going to make money quick overnight. Like we all understand that you have to spend, tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of rands in order to get a degree. And you've got to spend years of your life to get that degree. And once you have that degree, you might get a nice job. Okay, work for a big business, make some decent cash. But when it comes to business, for some reason, people struggle to spend 3 years working hard and spend tens of thousands of dollars on failing or hundreds of thousands of rands on failing. But it's literally the same thing as getting a degree, except there's more risk, there's more uncertainty, there's more pain. And once you're on the other side, your earning potential is way higher than any degree. Like I've got friends who are finishing college now, and I can tell you now, they are probably making 5 to 10% of what I make. Probably making about 5%. So I'm probably making about 20 times the amount that they make because I put myself through more pain, uncertainty, and risk. But it was the same amount of time and money spent. They probably spent $10,000, $20,000, maybe tens of thousands on their degrees. I spent all of that on coaching and failing at business and running ads and losing money and software and accountants and tax and all the things. But at the end of it, they've got a degree that they've spent a lot of money and time on, and I've got a skill set that I've spent a lot of money and time on, and you've got to ask yourself, what is more worth it to you? Business is not for everyone. It's like a sport, like You can't get good at basketball if you hate basketball. You have to be thinking about basketball every single day, like when you're sleeping, when you're on a date, when you're, watching a movie, when you're doing the work, when you're at the gym. Like, business is not for everyone. You have to actually love it and be obsessed, and then it comes easy, because it is a very painful process. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned something from this. Stay tuned. I'm going to try to post more consistently, and I really value your time. I'm going to go and hit the gym now. I'm going to hit a sauna. I'm going to do like a bit of a recovery day, and then I'm working on email nurture sequences for some of my US based clients. So take care of yourself, and bye for now.